Today's Bible study is on wisdom, and again, it's on the story of Samson and Delilah. So in Judges 13 and 7, it says, "But he said to me, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. So then drink no wine or strong drink, and eat nothing unclean, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death." And this is Samson's mother talking to her husband about what the angel of the Lord had said to her. So, when the angel of the Lord declared Samson to be a Nazarite, that title means for one to be separated from others and consecrated to God. Samson had a certain purpose to fulfill, and the Spirit of the Lord was upon him when he stayed under God's will. Time after time, Samson had defeated the Philistines when the Spirit of the Lord had rushed upon him. He was staying under true wisdom, being in the Spirit. He knew where to go, what to do, and how to do it all according to God's will. There came a time when Samson had moved away from the influence of the Spirit and moved away from God's holy wisdom. When he went to Gaza, he saw a prostitute and went into her. In Judges 16:1, that's found in Judges 16:1. This part of Samson's story relates to Proverbs 9:13 through 16. Verse 13 says, The woman folly is loud, she is seductive and knows nothing. 14 says, she sits at the door of her house, she takes a seat on the highest places of the town. 15, calling to those who pass by, who are going straight on their way. And so in this case, this prostitute or woman was Delilah calling out to Samson. Samson had departed from God's will and wisdom and became false, also known as being lukewarm. And it's an interesting parallel between Proverbs and Samson, because it says that the woman folly is calling out to those who pass by, and that's what Samson was doing. He was passing by Gaza, and then there was a prostitute, and it had caught his attention and pulled him away from God. And he began to use his carnal wisdom and not godly wisdom, which led him to his fall with the Philistines. And since they met, Delilah had been trying to find Samson's secret to his strength, and he would give her a false answer and would fight off the Philistines after Delilah had called him in. This happened time after time. The only thing different this time about Samson fighting off the Philistines from the previous times before he was with Delilah is that the Spirit of the Lord did not rush upon him like other times. God allowed him to fight by himself by his own strength. Eventually, the fourth time, with Delilah asking him about his weakness, Samson gave in to Delilah and was captured and had his eyes gouged out. His physical blindness had paired up with his spiritual blindness. He became blind to God's will for his life and the wisdom of God that helped him in his path, and then he became false. This can happen to us today in our walk with God. We can follow God's will and purpose for us, going down a straight and narrow path until a spirit of Delilah will call out to us and challenge our godly wisdom. We cannot allow our carnal wisdom to consume us and pull us astray from God's perfect path. The Spirit of the Lord will no longer rush upon us while we attend church or enter prayer, and we will simply just go through the motions. And we will begin to enter into a place of lukewarmness. We will start to fall into diverse temptations and serving false gods, all the while becoming false ourselves. The devil will try throwing fiery darts your way that will get you where it counts, whatever your Delilah is. And maybe for a moment you'll be able to fight him off by yourself, and it will feel like you don't need God. Then all of a sudden the rug will be pulled out from under you, and the devil will have you right where he wants you, out of the presence of God. It's going to take you till you are the most broken you can be. Then you will begin to realize the devil is nothing but a liar and a cheater, and you will have to get back to a place where you can seek heavenly wisdom to fight your way out of the spiritual battle at hand. You will have to begin to pray until that carnality loosens you and you can find yourself back in the perfect will and presence of God. And just like Samson, you will call out to him and defeat the spirit of Delilah.